I want you to imagine, right? You go to your job, and maybe for a little bit you're doing the job. Maybe, things are being achieved. But then after a while, you just, stop doing it as efficiently. Like, not even stop it altogether. You're just not as efficient as you were when you jumped on. And your workers are like, bro, what the fuck's wrong with you? This is a job. This is work. This isn't fucking playing around. Maybe you're distracted. Maybe you're just not feeling it and you haven't been feeling it for a while. Like, again, you will have problems with your workers. You'll have problems with upper management. Hell, sometimes you might even get fired. You know, it is in your interest to do that job as effectively. Like, I never put in a 200% because there's no fucking reason, right? But give it 100%. Have a better attitude. Work with people. Interact with people, and you should do fine. But we have this odd situation in entertainment where people are over projects, they're heads of projects that are failing and that have failed. And you can argue that once these people are in the entertainment, they begin to fail, and probably they begin doing what they're supposed to do, but then they realize, hey, I don't have to do what I'm supposed to do. I can just sit here, suck up their consumer money. In fact, attack the consumer if they get at me, use whatever ideological and social defense and labels to throw at them. And then you're ousted. Now, this seems to be the issue with Kathleen Kennedy, right? Because it was leaked that she left, she got fired, but then everyone got mad and they started striking down videos because she wanted to make to have the narrative on her side. And here's a problem with LucasFilms with like Star Wars. They have so many projects that they announce, and they announce them just so shareholders can be like, oh, well, maybe I should invest. But then at they can the projects, and some of them were interesting projects like Star Wars Eclipse. I think there was one like Star Wars Squadron 141, or is that something different? Or there was supposed to be a Star Wars Squadrons, for what I was told. Like that game you played, that I think we played on the Nintendo. And I think there was supposed to be even be a remake of Bounty Hunters. All these interesting projects that people would play. Even Knights of the Old Republic was coming back that they end up just canning and going for what? Star Wars Outcast, which nobody cared for in games. Stuff Star Wars Eclipse, which looked interesting. We went for Star Wars Acolytes, which they actively did everything in their power to spite the fans, spite the project, spite the IP. And then they're surprised nobody cares and nobody watches. And, okay, what's going on now? Well, now there's going to be a Total War Star Wars coming out. I'm assuming this is between LucasFilms and Creative Assembly. Or not Creative Assembly. Well, would it be Creative Assembly or Games Workshop? It might be. Because Games Workshop has Warhammer 40k, or Creative Assembly has Warhammer Fantasy. But it's a Total War Star Wars, so it could be like Star Wars, but in like the top-down RTS type deal. Who knows? And now you have all these publications running defense. Star Wars Kathleen Kennedy is not fired. Here's what's up with her. Some of them will circulate in online claims that Kathleen Kennedy, the president of LucasFilms, the storied company behind Star Wars, was fired. She held a respected position since 2012 after Walt Disney acquired Lucasfilms. However, Kennedy recently set the record straight on her future at the company, putting the rest of bizarre rumors. There's nothing bizarre about these. Like, people are just looking at, like, the projects. They're looking at the Star Wars flops that came out. There's nothing bizarre about them. Like, anyone like her who doesn't do her job but get paid anyway. Like, there's nothing bizarre about this. It's 100% reasonable to be like, yeah, they ousted her. She also revealed about a potential succession plan being discussed, which would likely be announced down the line. However, everything you need to know on what Kathleen said about her retirement plan. Fired from Lucasfilm. No, Kennedy's not fired from Lucasfilms. In a conversation with Deadline Kennedy. Again, this was what I was talking about how she was mad that she couldn't have the narrative on her side, so she went to Deadline to try to defend herself. No one's really buying it whatsoever. That she did not depart Lucasfilms, and also hinted at the possibility of staying for 8 years or 10 years. However, she revealed that discussions are underway with Disney CEO Bob Iger and Chairman Alan Bergman about an eventual succession plan. They intend to announce their succession month or a year down the road. Again, all this is just, PR speak. People, like, it is her job to take the heat. She's the fucking CEO. Like, we're all adults here, right? Like, she's had so many projects. Some of them were decent. Like, The Mandalorian was fine. I thought even Andor was fine. Well, Mandalorian was fine till season 3, when they did, the thing that everyone wants to do and replace the main character with a nobody. And Andor was fine. Bad Batch season 2 was okay. Well, 1 was okay. 2, I grew tired. Like, they had decent projects. It's just, you have projects that were flops, but then you have projects that were announced that never went anywhere. They just canned. And no one knows the future because nobody cares for Star Wars anymore. And that's the problem. That's why, there's nothing. That's why people believe these rumors. And there's nothing bizarre about it. There's just people looking at what she had, looking at what happened under her, or how many projects they had with her as a CEO. All the things that she announced then was canned, and they're like, yeah, she probably got fired. I mean, maybe she says she's staying, so she says she's still staying at Lucasfilm, which, okay, fine. Hopefully someone else is a CEO that can actually, we always have this understanding and hope that someone else could bring Star Wars back, but God knows. And my personal opinion is, I think they just need to can everything they have, and just go back to the old Republic. Because the old Republic, there's so much more you can do with the old Republic. Lucas himself said his best. It's a medieval story in a sci-fi setting. You have so much you can do with the old Republic. You can even have, what they did with Star Wars, the Clone Wars, have different instances of battles. There's so much you can do, because Star Wars has written themselves into this narrative corner. Because after, the third trilogy, a lot of people dropped off. Some stayed on, like me, for Mandalorian and Andor, but when Acolyte came out, never seen it, don't care, completely dropped off. You just need to go back. If you keep trying to go forward, keep trying to force the train through, there's only going to be so many other, multi-billion-dollar projects that will go in the trash, and we will get anywhere. So just go back to the Old Republic, start from there, and hell, you can even stay there, or maybe you can go into, because they tried to go into the High Republic era, which I'm not mistaken was quite a bit from after the Old Republic, but they failed with that. So at the end of the day, they should just go back. That's my opinion, right? But she further suggested that internal candidates are being considered for Lucasfilm's presidency, but remain tight-lipped about the potential names. As a succession plan was revealed, industrial insiders and fans began speculating about leading contenders for her role. One name emerged consistently is that of David Filoni. Yeah, I heard about him. Chief Creator Officer of Lucasfilms. Yeah, a lot of people say, I think either Jon Favreau or Dave Filoni, like they're a good candidate because they've led decent projects for Star Wars that were actually, that people actually liked and consumed. But again, if anybody else was in her position, they would be outed, and like you would get bothered. You'll get bullied at work. People like hell. People try to get you fired, but because it's her position, and because there's a lot of social, and you have that type of individual where if a woman's getting attacked for any reason, even if she 100% believes like is the cause of her own harassment, that it's just sexism, they won't look any further. It's just woman getting attacked, woman getting berated equals sexism, period. And it's also and obviously other like type of news organizations try to run the same, ideological tactic, and now people just don't care because the question is, the question is like, what makes you think people are just going to buy your product out of pity, or people are going to buy it out of anything other than just wanting good fucking entertainment? I mean, it's really just like they don't know, we don't know. Like that has never worked. Trying to buy the pity of others, trying to berate other people, and this were tactics. Star Wars, Disney, hell, like these are the tactics they tried to use to berate people and consumers into buying their product, and to nobody's surprise, it did not work. So, and because of that, we're at the situation we're at now. But anyway, I mean, good riddance as far as I'm concerned. Again, it always sucks when people lose their job, but they were never really good at the job to begin with. I mean, good fucking riddance. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about that. Peace.